Hello everyone and welcome back to my newsletter. This is the third one of 2021. So for the new ones, if you want to follow the newsletter, I've linked the journal section of my website in the description below. And there, every 1st and 15th of each month, I will post a new article with a YouTube video link to it. So today we'll talk about landings from jumps. In board sports, we do lots of jumps, lots of tricks, lots of landings. And the landing part of a jump is a very delicate moment because we can end up hurting ourselves pretty easily. So the best thing that we can do is to prepare properly at the gym. So then when we are, on our snowboard, wakeboard, surfboard, or skateboard, our bodies are ready to take on the challenges that the sport throws at us. And getting to, the more prepared we are, the longer we can get to practice our beloved sports. Now, when it comes to landings, the basic movement is the squat. We land from a jump, we squat. Okay, so the exercises that I'm going to show you today they lead to the squat, and they're all variations of the squat. So first, let's talk about how we center our weight, okay? Centering the weight means that our weight is evenly distributed between the front and the back of the foot. So it's here in the middle, okay? And that depends a lot by what our upper body is doing, okay? So a very basic movement that helps you understand better how to deal with your weight distribution is the flexion of the torso. Okay, so this is a hinging movement. Okay, the hinge in this case is in the hips. Okay, so we cross the arms on our chest. This movement is called Good Morning. I showed you several times. I showed it to you several times in past videos. So from here you tilt forward. Okay, and make sure that your knees are vertical on top of the heels. You can sit back and bend the knees more if your hamstrings are tight. Okay, otherwise try and keep them almost straight and don't sink the knees forward. The knees stay on top of the heels. And then from here you squeeze the glutes and come up. Okay, so this movement all comes from the glutes. The torso is stable, abs are tight. Down, up, down, up. Okay, do this movement several times. I don't want to give you a fixed amount because I want you to get to know this movement. I want you to get used to this hinging. So let's say when you're picking up something from the floor, don't do this. You hinge at the hips and you grab it. Okay, you want to drill this movement so many times that it becomes natural. In this way, your back is safe, and then your glutes will be active and strong. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be bending your back. I could do like a forward stretch and my back is bent, but this is something else, okay? For the landings, we want to have this straight back approach and hinging at the hips and be strong. Now, let's add a torso twist to this movement. I'll explain you later why. Always with the arms crossed on the chest, you tilt forward, twist, twist, up. When you do this movement, do it by squeezing your abs on the side of your abdomen. Now, notice that when I twist, I don't drop the knees, I don't shift back. The knees are still. It's like I have sort of like a wall here in front, and I don't move them. Come up, okay? We do this several times. Drill it. Get to know the movement. Get to know the feeling of it. Then, so the flexion of the hips, the flexion of the torso forward, the movement called Good Morning, is 1/3, okay, of the squat, okay? So let's say if it would be just the flexion of the torso will be with legs straight. But if I don't bend my knees, then now I feel a lot of weight on my toes because I'm not compensating the weight of my chest going forward. So in reality, before we had 2/3 of squat, which is the flexion of the knee and the flexion of the hips. But we had a lot, we have, in the good morning, we have a lot more flexion of the hips than the knees. In the squat, as it is called the triple flexion, we have flexion of the hips, knees, and ankles. Squat and up. This is the very basic movement of the landing. So we land, we squat. It's that simple. And the more we do this movement out at the gym, the more our body will just quickly go to the right movement when we land, okay? So start by doing it quite a few times and do it slowly. So you're teaching yourself the squat in a very controlled manner, and then from time to time you reduce the amount of, I wouldn't say control, but it becomes harder with, like, I don't know, jumping down from the box, or you're adding difficulty to the exercise, but the landing itself will always be a squat. We do some of these. Just start with the hands next to your hips. Go down, lift the arms up, come up. Make sure that your knees open, that your knees are in line with the mid toe. Okay, the back is straight, palms up, squeeze the glutes, and come up. Okay, then we add a twist to this movement. The twist that we will add is a twist done with, not by stretching ourselves into the twist, but just like we did in the good morning. We twist just with the capacity of the abs. So we go down, okay, arms here, twist, twist, up, okay? And if you want to go to half squat, you can, if you don't have a very deep squat. And then twist, twist, up, okay? Make sure that when you twist let's say if I'm twisting left, make sure your right knee doesn't drop in, okay? And this is very important when you jump, because if I'm jumping, I'm coming from a spin, and I land, and I do this, okay? Now, if you see, I did this around my toe. I can't do this on a wakeboard or on a snowboard because my feet are fixed. So if you happen to land on a snowboard and a wakeboard and there's a lot of this, you could hurt your knee. So make sure that if you twist, you do bam, you open the knees, so you can block the rotation, and then the bit of inertia that you still have from the jump, from the trip, can be absorbed through the abs and with a slight twist of the torso, but the hips are not moving. You're just landing and twisting eventually, okay? But the knees push out. So when you do these twists, you go down and then twist, and don't drop the knee. Keep it open. Okay? Then to this, we will add a little jump. So we'll start by doing squat jumps, and the jumps that I want you to start with are very, very small. So you can do a pre-jump. So you start from here, send the hips back, small jumps, jump forward, and squat, and stop everything. Try not to be wobbly, and then you stand up. Or you can do it from the same spot. So down, up, and stop it. When I say stop it, is try not to stop it because you get to the end range and you sort of smash your joints. Just make sure that you, actively slow down the movement, okay? And you end up sort of like a max 3/4 range. Try not to get to the very end of it, to the very bottom, by smashing, okay? So don't go down and eventually get to the very bottom and do like boom, this bounce. You go down and stop everything, and then you come up, okay? And that will be, you will feel it a lot in your lower core. And I mean, for the way my spot is and my body is, I feel a lot here at the top of my hips. And you drill this. You can. It depends on. It depends on what you're doing it for. If you're not really comfortable with jumping itself, if this is pretty new, then I suggest do it on the spot. Then the more used to get to this movement, the more you can do it from sort of like a broad jump. Okay, sort of like you can start from a point, jump, and then do the landing, and then stand up. Okay. Then you could do this also with a spin. Okay, so you could do this exercise with a jump forward and then a spin, and then you land and you do your squat. Okay, as long as you really focus on the mechanic of an ideal squat, pushing the knees out, having the core strong, and then slowing down the movement. Okay, then try to add maybe a twist at the landing. So you do a straight jump, okay, always starting from a different point or on the spot. And then once you land, so I bend, jump, twist. See, my knee didn't come in. I stayed here. Okay, jump, twist. Okay, with control, with the use of your abs. Okay, and again, this could help for the landings of spin tricks. Okay, you're landing from a 360 and you maybe have started the movement with too much, with too much strength, too much like impulse. That's what I wanted to say. And at the landing, you might have some inertia that you can fix by being aware of how to use your glutes, hips, pushing the knees out, locking the hips in the middle, and then sort of slowing down the movement through your core. Okay, so these very basic movements can, by my opinion, help you understand better the mechanics of landings and be safe. Okay, so what I suggest is the approach is you can use one of my mobility routine videos as a warm-up, and then once you start practicing these exercises, don't go crazy with the repetitions with the more complicated exercise, like let's say the jumping exercises. Don't do too many of them. Do a few of them, then rest and do it several times. Okay. Instead, the slow movements, the slow and more simple, more controlled movements, like the simple squat, like the flexion of the torso, the twisting. Those do many of them. I wouldn't say like a crazy amount, but maybe do 3 sets of 12 of them, 3 sets of 15. I don't know, but just do more of them. So you get to learn them. You get to explore them. You get to feel what muscles are working and how they're working. There are different opinions, but I suggest to do maybe these exercises without and with a mirror. That could help you also. Okay, without a mirror, I feel this. I feel that I'm bending my legs. Then I look at the mirror, I'm like, oh, I'm not bending my legs much. So use this double check method to improve the proprioception that you have of your limbs and the way that you do movements. So you know if what you're feeling about the movement is exactly what it is. And then when you go on the board, film yourself. Try to document what you do, and so you can see it, so you can see what you do, and you can eventually fix it. You can address the problems, and then you can fix them at the gym, or at least you can start fixing them at the gym. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next newsletter. Ciao!